Are you ever fascinated by old black and white footage and felt like you were a time traveler, peering into the lives of people in a much different time? Have you ever thought about how their lives must have been so different and even pictured where you would have fit in? Maybe you found yourself strolling down the busy city streets, passing horse drawn carriages and buggies, marveling at the booming businesses and wealth that surrounds you. Well, picture this. In the early 1900s, San Francisco, California was the wealthiest and most important city on the Pacific coast. With a population of over 400,000 souls, it was the eighth largest city in the country, home of some of the fastest growing industries in the state and national economy thanks to successful mining and a busy network of railroads. Then, during the early morning hours at 5:13 a.m., April 18th, 1906, the entire city of San Francisco was rocked by a massive magnitude 7.9 earthquake. Residents were awakened by a violent jolting and shaking accompanied by a vicious roar emanating from the earth itself. This earthquake was caused by the subduction of the Pacific Plate beneath the North American Plate. A slip of the San Andreas Fault caused a release of sudden energy that was felt from southern Oregon to the south of Los Angeles and inland as far as central Nevada. Within minutes of the quake, fires broke out all around the city, burned for nearly 3 days, and destroyed nearly 500 city blocks. By the end of the day, nearly 3,000 people were killed, 30,000 buildings were destroyed in total, and half of the city's 400,000 residents were homeless. The following days after the event, earthquake survivors slept in tents in city parks, stood in long lines for food, and were required to do their cooking in the street to avoid more fires. Many West Coast redwood forests burned and were destroyed. The earthquake ruptured the northern third of the San Andreas Fault line and covered a distance of 296 miles. The earthquake displaced the surface of the earth at a recorded 20 feet, and some measurements record up to 28 feet. 3 days after the earthquake, the California governor appointed an 8-person earthquake investigation committee led by Andrew Lawson. Lawson oversaw the work of more than 25 geologists, and as well as over 300 others who offered their contributions to the effort. The work was done without pay. The committee published a 17-page report on the incident just over a month later. The earthquake demonstrated the continuity of the fault line and led to a greatly more accurate mapping of the fault line. The committee also established the San Andreas Fault as a continuous geologic structure extending over 600 miles through much of California and paved the way for future research of the fault line, allowing for more accurate predictions of the fault line movements, saving lives, and allowing better preparation to avoid disasters like this one. But is San Francisco ready for the next big one?